We are going to go over Amazon vocabulary, okay? So these are all the vocabulary words that you need to know when doing your Amazon business. I want to make sure you guys are fully equipped and there's no words or certain terms that you come across and you don't know, okay? Because the whole point of this course is to get you to fully understand the online arbitrage business ins and outs, okay? So the first word we got is prerequisites. That is basically like the setup, okay? That's basically what we did in the last video, the setup, okay? It's the thing that is required, prior to the condition of something else happening. So prerequisites for Amazon would be going to go get an IRS EIN number, setting up your LLC, signing up for Seller Central, okay? The next one is return on investment. Return on investment is a performance measure used to evaluate profitability. It is a percentage of profitability. On this sheet, I'm gonna have the definition, the Google definition, but I'm gonna give you the real definition because all my courses are uncut, real, raw, and that is like how I give people these crazy results because it is very easy to digest for the everyday person, okay? And so ROI, if you remember, ROI, I'm gonna keep drilling this into y'all because I really want y'all to understand this. And this is not just with Amazon, it is with any business. You need to know your ROI. How much am I putting in? How much am I profit? So what does my profit look like? Divided by how much am I putting in? That equals your ROI, okay? So if you profit $250, hold on, not smart lookup, I don't wanna do that. So if you profit $250 and your cost was $1,000, you divide that, you're gonna get 0.25, it's 25% ROI. That means if you put in 1,000, you're gonna make $250 back. If you put 100,000 in, so if this turns into 100,000, same thing, 25% ROI, okay? And so people ask me does it matter how much? It's the same ROIs regardless. That's why the more you invest, the more you end up making because the ROIs stay the same. But what does not stay the same is when you buy in bulk from these websites, sometimes you get a major discount, or you get points from buying so much that you would get a credit and have $1,000 credit or whatever just for spending so much with them. Same goes with wholesale and suppliers. The more you spend on inventory, the cheaper you get the prices for, the bulk price for, okay? All right, let's go back to the vocabulary. All right, vendor. So your vendor is, the person or like the supplier, basically a supplier. We don't really deal with suppliers, but technically our vendor would be like Walmart.com, Kmart.com. Vendor is the source of where you're getting the products from. All right, freight. So freight is where you transport items and goods by a truck. And for freight, for trucks, we use freightquote.com. Very easy. Let's say if you needed a freight for any reason, which with online arbitrage, basically what some people do, what some Amazon sellers do, is instead of, which this is Wi-Fi FBS, so I want you to use prep centers. But instead of, so this is Walmart.com. Instead of sending it to a prep center, okay, they'll send it to their house. And then they'll send it to Amazon, okay? Now, I'm showing y'all we use freight quote. This is really for wholesale. For online arbitrage, you really would not need freight quote unless there's a situation to where you have to, pick up a product or whatever, right? When you do use freight quote, all you gotta do is put in all the information, the correct information, like where you taking it to, where is it being shipped from, all the right addresses, and then you can get a quote. And then if you have problems with whatever quote you get, talk on the phone. These are humans, okay? These are humans that run these websites on the other side, dealing with the prep center. Call them in. They're humans. They want your business. Freight quote wants your business. So make sure that they make it as comfortable for you as possible, okay? All right. Gatings. Gatings is basically some products on Amazon are gated because they are very, how can I put it? I'm not gonna say valuable because they're just like any other product. But for example, like a product that has a GHS warning or a product that is flammable will be gated. Amazon basically wants to control who sells it, and so you have to request approval to be able to sell. Same thing with beauty products. Same thing with like some grocery products. And Amazon does this to protect themselves as a platform because they want to make sure that, you know, the sellers that are selling this are selling legit items. Because imagine if you bought something off Amazon and it was a skincare product and then you start breaking out because it was fake. It came from China or something, right? That'd be on Amazon's fault. And then like Amazon will have to pay for, you know, if you try to sue them. So Amazon, on certain products that are very, I don't know, like special products, right? Like they gate, okay? Now there are ways to get ungated, which I do teach you, okay? I do teach you in a video later on how to get ungated, all right? IPI is an inventory performance index, and that is basically your number, like your scorecard for Amazon. Like how fast is your inventory coming in? How fast is it selling? What do your reviews look like? You really don't have to worry about that. All you want to do is make sure you have an IPI above 500. That's it. Very easy to keep your IPI above 500. Like if you just do the simple method of buying something for low, sending it through FBA, like you don't really have to maintain the IPI. Like it's nothing you sit up and watch. Like I'm trying to get it higher. Like it just happens naturally. Like you're gonna naturally have a good IPI, okay? Invoice, okay? Invoice is basically when you pay for products, you get a receipt back, okay? Or, so you can have an invoice that is a receipt as well as you can send an invoice, and that is basically you telling someone else to pay, all right? Or the supplier telling you to pay, okay? So when you wanna buy goods from a supplier, which we don't, I'm saying a supplier, but we don't really use suppliers, right? Like we use Walmart.com, Kmart.com for online arbitrage, but in general, like for the business general, you wanna know this type of stuff, all right? I do the same for all my like, you know, programs within the Wi-Fi FBA name. I do all like the same vocabulary sheet because I feel like it doesn't matter what, you know, particular niche you're in. If you're doing wholesale, online arbitrage, retail, you need to know all this stuff to be more, you know, knowledgeable on the Amazon topic. Whether you watch somebody else talk about Amazon or whatever, you are more knowledgeable on, you know, the topic, all right? Business entity, very simple. It's like LLCs, S corporations. We always use LLCs, very simple. All right, unfulfillable. So as Amazon, sometimes you will have unfulfillable inventory and they'll send it back to your house. Now that's happened to me before. It doesn't happen a lot. Like out of 100 units, I probably have like 1 unit, 2 units that is unfulfillable. And to be honest, I don't be knowing the reason why. But what happens is I get it sent back to my house. They automatically send it back. And what I do with that inventory, instead of just trashing it, I real life just go sell it on eBay. Go list it on eBay and try to get a sale. Or I list it on Facebook Marketplace and, you know, get a quick sale and still make my ROI, okay, my money. All right, metrics, right? So metrics is the method of measuring something. So you always want to look at account metrics. You always want to make sure that you don't have a lot of unfulfillable inventory, that you get in reviews, that you're sometimes a customer will ask you a question about the product, and when they ask you a question about the product, what I recommend you to do is go to Walmart.com and ask the question to Walmart about the product. That way, whatever Walmart says, whatever website, you can relay the same message back to Amazon. So for example, I've had speakers and somebody will ask, hey, you know, does this speaker fit on a Ford F-150 or something? I'm like, okay, I don't know about speakers. I just bought it, you know, it was profitable. And so what I did was I went back and asked, you know, does this speaker fit on the Ford F-150? And then they told me, okay. Capital, when somebody asks, hey, how much capital do you have? Or you tell somebody you have a lot of capital, that basically means money. Like, you know, I have a lot of capital. And, you know, the key to online arbitrage is finding the good products on other websites, so finding the price gaps, right? And then having capital to, you know, buy up all of that, all right? Preparation, so prep centers. Prep centers are very easy. You can literally search up a prep center anywhere. Miami, prep center. Right here, FBA, Amazon FBA Prep Center. I can search up, let's say from NY, New York Prep Center. New York FBA Prep Center. Right here, call in, contact them. Boom, call their number. Send an email, call their number. Don't even send an email. Call their number. Let them know what you're trying to do. Hey, I do online arbitrage. Don't know if you heard it, but I send products in from Walmart.com. How much is it gonna cost me? Use that mouthpiece, all right? So, next word is GHS warnings, okay? GHS warnings look like this. You wanna avoid products that have batteries or GHS warning. This is a GHS one right here. All right, you want to avoid that, right? Because 9 times out of 10, it is gated. Also, when something is gated, you can easily request approval instantly, all right? Literally one button to request approval. We're going to have a little small video over gatings, all right? I'm going to make sure I throw that in there for y'all. All right, MOV, that means minimum order value. So let me show you this. Even though you're not dealing with suppliers, let me show you the concept of MOV versus MOQ. All right. So also, you might see this on the online website as well. Like online websites, they may have a minimum of how much you can buy. All right. So MOV versus MOQ. This stands for minimum order quantity. This stands for minimum order value. Right? And so when you're trying to buy from these suppliers or maybe even the website, they always going to have minimums, all right? Minimums, like how much you have to buy to minimum be able to get this purchase, all right? And so the difference between MOV and MOQ is MOV is based on value. So for example, they might, let's say we're looking at a pallet of staplers, some random stuff like staplers, right? All right, let's say we're looking at like staplers, right? Now the supplier or the website might have MOV $200. So basically they're saying you got to spend at least $200 to be able to buy these staplers at whatever price they're at. Let's say they're at $5, right? MOQ is basically the same thing, but they basically say, hey, you got to buy at least 200 units. So the difference is this one is based on price, this one is based on units. Most suppliers do MOQ, units. This is gonna be 90% of suppliers, okay? That is the difference. MOQ is, the minimum order of units, quantity. MOV is value. So they say, hey, to be able to buy these staples for $5, you got to spend $200. Hey, to be able to buy these staples for $5, you got to buy at least 200 of them. Most suppliers do it this way, okay? Do we really deal with suppliers? Not really, but online arbitrage, you can only get, it works 100%. Like you can scale it up to where you're using a lot of percent, but eventually you just want to get transferred to wholesale, okay? So that is MOQ and MOV. All right, UPC. UPC stands for Universal Product Code. This is the product code that is universally accepted for that product. Okay? That means no matter where you go, this UPC is going to identify the exact product. Every product on Amazon has a UPC and an ASIN. Okay? I want to say think it's like, yeah. So this is your Amazon standard identification number. All right. I knew it. I knew what ASIN is. It's just the fact that like that ZAG or like abbreviation. Okay. And with every product, you're gonna have those two numbers. So when I show y'all on Smart Scale, let me show y'all. Go to products, right? And so right here, you can see the ASIN right here. You can click this and view the actual product on Amazon, as well as the UPC right here. When you are communicating a product to, let's say, a supplier or someone else, use the UPC, okay? Not every product has an ASIN, right? Because it might not be sold on Amazon. This ASIN is taking you directly to the listing. You can see in the URL right here, it has amazon.d/dp/the ASIN. This ASIN right here, I could copy and paste, put it in the search bar, and it's gonna pop right up. That is basically how you identify a product on Amazon, okay? UPC is how you identify a product throughout the whole world, all right? All right, IP alert. So you can download a Chrome extension and you can see if a brand does IP alert. IP alerts basically means intellectual property claims. And so what happens is if you're selling a particular brand, this does not happen a lot. It's never happened to someone in my chat. I don't believe so. But when you are selling a product on Amazon and it is a brand, what happens is the brand will hate on you the fact that you're selling it. Like they would hate, right? Because they're not selling on Amazon themselves. Or, you know, they got it on Walmart, but it's going on Amazon for more and you took the opportunity. They won't like it. So what they'll do is complain to Amazon and say, hey, his products are fake. What you can do if you get an IP alert is send in an invoice. But if, you know, if the IP alert still stands, you probably have to take out the listing. But this is why when we do our product research and we look for products, I always scroll over and check number of FBA sellers. Because if it's 1 or 2, you're likely to get an IP claim. If it's more than 3, that means that product is a FBA product and there are a lot of people selling it and you should be good to sell as well. Like products like this, 21, 22, 5, 8, 7, you won't have to worry about it, all right? If an IP claim happens, everybody has to get off the listing. So you do not have to worry about, you know, that type of stuff, all right? All right, plateau. So here's what I'm talking about when I say plateau, right? So you will hear me say in the product research video, look at the history, look at the sales history, look at the plateau. And so what you want to do is you want to click this and look at history. Look at price, okay? Last 30 days. Is there a plateau? A plateau is a straight line. Has price been consistent? When I'm looking at this graph, it is showing me the price for the last 7 days, 30 days, 90 days. Now, when we sell on Amazon, we plan to sell a product for 30 days, really less if we can. And I'm gonna teach you how to calculate less, all right? How to be able to sell a product within 2 weeks, sell out in 2 weeks, right? But you can see right here that it went from 200 to 165 to 165. Now looking at this price history is very, very important because you want to make sure that even if it drops to 165, you are still profitable wherever you are getting this product from. All right, that is the key. And so that's why I like to say, look at the last 30 days and there should be a plateau. A plateau would be a straight line. That means price is consistent. All right. If we already know it is consistently getting sales and price is consistent, that means when we get in there, we are already going to make a profit and we are going to sell, okay? Let's see if this has a plateau. See, this is pretty straight. This is a pretty straight line, right? Went from 200, 280, 278, 264. Okay, price been consistent above 260. Let's keep looking. I want to show y'all like a straight plateau. Price kind of consistent on this one, 120, 124. It kind of bounces between 120 and 124 a lot. All right, that's pretty consistent. Now you can just run your numbers at 120, okay? And what I mean by run your numbers is basically like, if you're getting your product for $80 and you're trying to figure out if you're gonna make profit, you need to calculate how much you're gonna sell it for 120. Okay, not 124, because you want to do the lowest number on the plateau to make sure that, you know, right here, where's that product at? I lost it. I don't think that was it. I think I lost it. But for example, at this product, right, you want to make sure that when it dips at its lowest, you are still profitable. Like this will dip to 505, 502, 501. And so if I'm doing my research and I'm getting this product for, let's say, you know, $400, I want to calculate, you know, my ROI based on the price that it is going to sell for 504, right? The lowest point of the plateau, okay? And so the two things to look at is you want to make sure that the line is straight. It's a straight, consistent price, as well as you are still profitable when it reaches its lowest price point. All right, that is basically plateau. And we're going to go over that when I do product research. All right, so the next word is ASIN, right? Standard identification number. See, I already had the what it meant for, right? But ASIN is a 10-digit code that identifies products on Amazon. All right. Now let's get to SPD. SPD means small parcel delivery. This consists of unit, pack, individual boxes. All right. These are normally smaller shipment. So when, you know, your prep center has your product, it depends on how much of the product you have. If it is a pallet or like small boxes. If it's small boxes and it weighs less than 50 pounds, use SPD, okay? Amazon is going to ask you, is it SPD or LTL? I'm going to show you basically the back end of how to work that when I, you know, show y'all the video and we go over the video of how to create a shipment plan. But SPD is small deliveries, small boxes, couple boxes. LTL stands for less than truckload, pallets. That means pallets. That's all that means, all right? Next letter is bestseller rank, okay? So on Amazon, there's something called the bestseller rank, and this basically ranks the product for how much it sells. So for a particular category, what it does is, let's say for grocery and gourmet, what it would do is it's gonna rank all the products and it's gonna put them in order from 1 being it sells the most all the way up to, let's say 100,000 meaning it's not getting a lot of sales. So let me show y'all. So let's say we're doing grocery and gourmet, right? All right, like you can see right here, number 4. This is the number 4 product selling in grocery, and you can see that it's doing 1 meal per month. Let's do the top 10. All right, top 10. So you can see that Celsius is the number 1 selling. And also too, you have to realize too that sometimes they're doing their rank based off of the subcategory as well. So it's the category overall, but there are subcategories as well. And so when you click this, which we're gonna go over Smart Scout, I'm telling y'all, like, when I'm explaining this, don't get discouraged and say, I don't understand. Like, you're gonna know everything by the end of the course. All right, but inside of grocery and gourmet, you have different subcategories. So you have beverages. And so when I look at beverages, I look at, you know, powdered drink mix, whatever. And then they have rankings inside of that as well, all right? And so when you're looking at those products we just looked at and you've seen like Celsius was number 1, that is for the subcategories number 1. But here's something, you know, you can do, right? You can look at the bestseller rank, right here, full category, right? So let's say grocery and gourmet, and let's say you look up the ASIN of your product, and so let's click this, right? Those donuts look good. All right, look. Right here, you see the UPC manufacturer. All right, so, what I'm gonna do, copy this in my product, ASIN right here. You can also, copy the ASIN in. So search it right up, and so you can see that it's doing 11,000 in sales. Okay. How many FBA sellers? 0 FBA sellers, but I can see that it is 38,000 in this category. 38,000 in the category grocery and gourmet food. So if I want to see how many units I think it's gonna sell, what I can do is I can pick my category, and do 38,000. Boom. So it's telling me that it is selling around 348 sales. That means on that particular listing, 348 sales are happening. So that is how you can use, sales rank and, the sales estimator to real life figure out, is it selling? Because that's what we're doing, y'all. Like when we're looking at a product, we're trying to see, okay, how much is it selling per month? 11,000, cool. How many units? 341 units. All right, bet. How many FBA sellers? How much competition am I going to have? What is the buy box price? $34. All right, bet. How much am I getting it for on my other website that I'm looking at? As well as, let's look at the details. How much a buy box is someone else getting? Which I'm gonna go over buy box as well. How much is buy box? Like Polar Bear store is getting 99% of buy box. They're doing 11,000. Okay. Well, what's the history? What price point? This is a good example of a plateau. Like literally, it's the same price, $34, $34. All right, it's very consistent. All right, and so I'll look at the plateau and be like, okay, how has this been selling in the last 30 days? How has it been selling in the last 90 days? See, this is a good example of a real life plateau, a really good plateau. Now, which I'm gonna teach y'all. When I do my numbers and I find out that, okay, this product is selling on Amazon for $34 consistently. All right, I'm getting this product from my supplier for $15. Now, when I try to calculate profit, I have accurate numbers and I can, do my best to predict next month what the prices are gonna look like. And for the most part, if there's demand for a product, it's never gonna leave. Like that demand for the product is never gonna leave. So, all right. KPI stands for key performance indicator. You really don't have to worry about that. That is basically the measure of performance. All right. Free on board is a shipment term used to indicate whether the seller is liable for the goods, right? So Amazon, if you ship your products to Amazon and let's say you got 200 units and only 150 units are in Amazon, that means Amazon lost 50 of your units. And so what you can do is send them the invoice that you got or the receipt from Walmart, let them know, hey, I need a refund for my products. And what they would do is actually give you your money back for losing your products, okay? So you're cool with that, all right? Manufacturer is the person, the company that makes the goods. It is the first stop. It is, most manufacturers are in China. That's why other FBA sellers would teach to get it from China, but I don't teach that because it is not smart to do so, all right? LLC is limited liability company. I already went over LLC and business setup, and the EIN number is your unique number assigned to your business. It lets the government know, the IRS know that this is separate from your personal income. This is a new entity. All right, and so yeah, y'all, that is it for the Amazon vocabulary video.